Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, on a mission to teach valuable trading and investing skills to average people. If you happen to miss that investing class that we're doing right here in Bloomington or online, nice 45 minutes. We do it virtually. Come to your own home.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to Actually, let's do this. Let's text the word invest to the number 484848. When you do that, you're going to get a text back with a link, which is otamin.com. That's otaminn.com to register for this free investing class right here in Bloomington or virtually. If you're just tuning in, Al was shedding some light on how to get in the financial markets with confidence. Not worry about, what's this person saying or what's that person saying on TV or internet. Making a change in your life, saying, hey, I want to do better. I want to upgrade my lifestyle or have the potential to. What can I do for that? So you had to learn different techniques and skills. And the great thing about trading and investing is it's a learned skill. You have to learn how to do it from people that have done it before, not reinvent the wheel. And that's where it comes into like the style of income trading for trading for income. The institutions have strategies that they're utilizing. They're using the right assets for that. So let's talk about some of those techniques that the smart money is using to generate income. As we're going through this and talking about these techniques, it's not just for the institutions. It's actually anybody can use these. You just have to learn. So what are some of those techniques to have income potential with the markets?
Well, I mentioned in that first segment that there were things that the professionals, the smart money, are doing to be successful in the markets. And one of them is using different assets than you use or the retail traders use. There's a number of things. One is knowing how to participate in an up market, a down market, and a sideways market. Are you doing that? If the market goes down, are you benefiting or are your portfolios taking a hit? The smart money, the big firms, they're not taking a hit when the market goes down. Also, they know how to protect their capital. They know how to follow a plan that takes the emotional component out of trading. And then they use different assets. And the interesting thing is that they are using things like the futures market, the foreign exchange market, the options market, but they're putting their clients into mutual funds, annuities, or maybe some stocks. Why is that? Why are they doing something different than you? And they're doing these different things because they realize there is a benefit there and they're taking advantage of these benefits. The real reason is that they're not making as much money from you, and it's too much work for them to do these shorter-term trades.
Especially when they have thousands and probably hundreds or thousands of clients.
Right. No, if
you can't manage that.
As an individual financial advisor, if you have 200 or 300 clients, you can't possibly manage portfolios where you're getting into and out of a trade on a short-term basis. And when you talk about income, that is short-term. That's typically things that you need additional money for now. And unfortunately, most of you are put into a portfolio, if you're using an advisor, that's long-term, that you're supposed to hold on to for decades.
So, Al, if someone's listening right now and they're saying if they want to pursue the markets for income potential, what does that look like, though? I mean, is it just, getting in the markets and trading all the time and being, how does that actually work? Because a lot of people think it's super stressful. I mean, we talked about in the beginning of the show about some people are afraid to get in the markets,
right.
But it's because of what they see on TV and how the movies are. And by the way, a lot of these movies are from the 80s and the 90s, right? Trading isn't like that anymore. What does that look like when someone, opens their computer and wants to place a couple trades in the market?
Well, think about this for a minute too, Josh. If people are trading on their own, and if they're successful trading on their own, who do they not need? They don't need Wall Street. They don't need a financial advisor. So the information you get, the news you hear, is designed to make you afraid of trying to do this on your own. There's two things that really, I think, are the main components of what keep people from trading. One is fear. That's just the unknown. That's what education does. It turns that around. So what previously was unknown is now known. But you have to learn that from somebody who actually understands how the market functions and how all of these assets work. The other thing is that people think they don't have enough money to do this. Well, with the assets that we're talking about, and if you're looking for income, it does not take a large account to be able to do that. And that's one of the fallacies that are out there.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
I mean, that's all relative, by the way. A
certainly.
Large account, small account, it's a relative term.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that? How does somebody use, let's just say, for example, someone has $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
How does somebody use that?
Well,
Can you do that? Can you trade the stock market and do anything with that? Probably not, right?
If you want to buy shares of a stock, you look at the value of some of these companies right now. Amazon over $3,000 a share, Apple up close to $150 a share. That's $15,000 if you want to have a full position. Amazon $300,000. How many people can afford to do that? So the cost of using stock equities is really high. And there's too much risk there, because if you put a lot of money into a position and we go through a correction or let's say a market crash, let's just say the market goes down 30 or 40% and you have need for extra cash, you may have to sell out of positions you have at a big loss. So there are ways of approaching different markets on a short-term basis where that the potential for that to happen is really minimized, if not eliminated. Futures, Forex, and options, they use leverage, which means that you can take a small account, whether it's $2,000 or $5,000, and still have the potential to participate in something an investment that might be worth $50,000 or $100,000. It's maximizing the value of your capital. It's capital efficiency, and that's really what the big pros, the big players are doing. Guys like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett doesn't just buy stock or buy companies. He uses short-term strategies, primarily using options to bring in short-term cash.
But he tells the public to go buy and hold stocks. Why? Because you need volatility with options. Imagine that. Now, just to paint a picture on what that looks like when someone places a trade, if someone is going to get in the position, it's all electronic. So you open your computer, you have a platform, and that's where you do your analysis. And Online Trading Academy has that core strategy. It's designed to teach you to make smart investing decisions. So once you've learned that, you make a smart decision in the market, and it's either to buy or sell. If you want the price to go up, you would buy it. If you think the price is going to go down, you would actually sell it first. So it's opening the position high and closing it low, realizing a profit. That's the difference. So you have opportunities with up markets, with down markets, but even with options, there's opportunities with sideways markets. So placing that trade, the concept is actually fairly simple. You just you need a step-by-step strategy and a platform to do that. Online Trading Academy has a platform called Click, which actually guides you through your investment decisions. Now think about that for a second. How would that make you feel if you had something guiding you through those decisions? Would that make you feel more confident? I'm sure it would. Yeah. If you feel like you need more help with that, it takes a little bit of action to learn those skills and get the right tools. You need the right tools, just like a carpenter needs hammers, needs saws, nails, everything, different tools to do the right things. Same thing in trading and investing. Online Trading Academy has those investing classes virtually, roughly 45 minutes, or right here in Bloomington. So why don't you text the word invest to the number 484848 and pick a date for this investing class. You're actually going to get a link, which is otamin.com. That's otaminn.com. We have several per day, whether it's online, so you can do it from the comfort of your lazy boy, or right here in Bloomington. A lot of people like to come to Bloomington because it's actually hands-on. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, and they say, I just really like, I'm a hands-on learner. I like to learn in person, so you can come into Bloomington as well. So, Al, with these other markets that are sometimes new for other people, futures and Forex and options, it's something, they're not really, I guess I shouldn't say they're new, they're just a little bit different. People are working during the day, most likely a lot of people are doing that. Now, how does somebody take those markets? I mean, they're open 24 hours a day, but what does that actually mean? How can somebody invest and trade in the evening, which is really off-peak hours is what most people think?
Yeah, well, there are assets, the futures market and the foreign exchange market are open essentially 24 hours a day. That means you have opportunities to trade virtually round the clock. So if you work during the day, the stock market's only open 6.5 hours. So think about it. Do you have more opportunities in a 6.5 hour time period or in a 24-hour time period?
By the way, cryptocurrencies is open on the weekend
as
well.
24/7.
We talked about Shiba at the beginning of the show. Opportunities any time of day.
Yeah, and you talked about a step-by-step process that you follow, and some people might be thinking, well, I need a step-by-step process for stock. I need a step-by-step process for options, one for futures, one for Forex. No, it's the same process.
It's a good point.
Same steps, no matter what you're trading, no matter whether you are looking for short-term income or for long-term wealth.
And that really simplifies things, too.
Well, that's exactly what we try to do with the core strategy, and then Click. Core strategy is incorporated into the Click platform, so it Click makes you go through a certain series of steps that gets you to that point that I mentioned before to identify a price that is worthy of making an entry into a position.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? You talked about guidance before. How many people, when they go somewhere that they haven't been before or haven't been for a while, how many people do you think use a GPS system?
Well, if anybody has a cell phone, they're using that everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. What if there was a GPS system for your trades, something that would guide you on the right path, the right direction? If there was a roadblock or an accident somewhere, sort of like your GPS system. That happened to me last week. I had to go to Big Lake for a volleyball tournament. And as I'm starting to drive, my GPS system is taking me a direction I'd never gone before. I found out later there was a huge accident on 94 rollover. I would have missed the game for sure.
You would have been in trouble.
Yeah, I would have been in big trouble. But the GPS system guided me around it. That's what Click will do. Click actually will tell you if it's a bad trade.
And also tell you when it's a good trade.
Well, yeah, and those are probably the two most important components. Yep. It gives you a quality indication, a grade as to whether it's a good trade or not. But what about an alert, an actual alert that comes up on your computer that says, don't do this trade. You might not want to do this trade because it violates your parameters. What are your parameters? Well, you customize it to your style of trading. And then if you try to put something together that violates those or doesn't follow them, it tells you not to do it. I mean, there's nothing else out there that is anything close to that. So when we talk about developing confidence and overcoming fear is just the unknown, not knowing what you're doing, and anticipating something negative in the future. The people that are really successful in this world don't let fear bother them. There's fear there, but they overcome it. They
look it straight in the face. You ever see those movies? Look it straight in the face and say, you know what? I'm going to beat you.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the things that people fear about the market is not knowing how to take advantage of different market conditions or not being negatively impacted by different market conditions. Once you have the proper strategy, the proper education, it won't make any difference to you what the market condition is or what the condition of the economy is. It doesn't make any difference because you'll know how to take advantage of any market condition. You should never have a situation arise where you go, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. It's all part of a plan that we help you put together that covers virtually everything from worst case scenario to best case scenario and how to follow the right path for each of those.
Yeah, and the great thing about these markets, I mean, as I said earlier, the opportunity is there. And I don't know if you're listening right now and you're not in the markets right now, what are you waiting for? Right. Now is probably the best time to get in the markets because volatility is what we want as traders, investors. But just think about it as well. I mean, people are looking for another source of cash flow, and they're searching at various places. The markets is an opportunity to have potential income from, but you got to learn the right skills, techniques, manage your capital the right way, and then place the trades. As I mentioned earlier, the concept of actually placing a trade is actually pretty simple,
sure,
especially if you have a rules-based strategy to walk you through that and guide you just like that GPS system as Al was talking about. We have these investing classes here in Bloomington, and we go through those different concepts as far as how the markets function, how to make smart investing decisions. We get into our step-by-step strategy to trade any asset in any market. But I think the most important one is how to time the market. It's, you talked about price earlier, how to time the market by letting price come to you. So if you want to text the word invest to the number 484848, you're going to receive a text back with a link, which is otamin.com. That's otaminn.com. You pick a date in there. We have several per day, actually. But if you're going to do it online, virtually, we come straight to your home virtually. Or you can come here in Bloomington. Al teaches these, and I teach these as well. You can also call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. Al, coming up next, I want to talk about retirement. It's a great thing. We all strive for that. Well, people just don't have enough to get there. I'm going to talk about techniques and strategies to have the opportunity to retire with confidence. We'll be right back.